So today I want to talk about my Dwarf deck. This is the deck I used to end up climbing to Pro Rank with, and I actually had quite a bit of fun, and I wanted to make this video because the Dwarf deck's getting a couple buffs in the upcoming patch. So looking at the neutral cards for a second, there's two here which are going to help it out. Firstly, Enchanted Armor. Right now it's boost a unit in your hand by 3. It'll be changed to boost by 3 and give 2 armor. Is that better than Crystal Skull? Arguably. It depends which you put the armor on, right? Putting armor ahead of time on something like Pyrotechnician is good. Putting armor ahead of time on something like a Berserker if you expect to go 7 turns with it living is good. But other than that, like, you can armor stuff if you want to. Armoring Yarpin, he'll come down with 3 damage, and he'll have 3 armor, so he'll boost himself by 3. So he'll come down for a 12. It's a pretty big play. It's a decent option. Not sure I would take it, because being able to boost something already on the field is strong. So that's one of the changes. The other one, in neutrals, is Armory. Turning it to a location, it'll have resilience, so it'll be deploy, boost by 6, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You'll see when the patch comes out, let me know. I believe it changes to boost by 6 on deploy, resilience, then the order, like the other locations, will be give 3 armor. And then the other change, which actually is in the Dwarves, is going to be in Monroe, right? So, Monroe, went by him. Transform 2 allied rowdy dwarves into dwarf berserkers. Okay, sure, it's a good tempo play. The problem with it is that if they know you're going to do it, they're just going to kill the dwarves if they can, right? So if you play Zoltan Warrior, they kill one of the dwarves, they'll get 1 berserker. They can kill 2 of the dwarves. I play Zoltan's Company, you don't have to, but Zoltan's Company also, you bring out the rowdy dwarves, they know what you're going to do, they're going to kill them, if they can. Anyway, so I want to make the deck because those changes are coming out and they'll help out the deck. So talking about the deck right now, I play Oneiromancy because we need certain combos here and certain power cards. I talked about Zoltan Warrior and Monroe already. Playing Zoltan Warrior for 2 rowdy dwarves and Monroe to transform them to berserkers is our strongest short round. Right, so if you want to push a short round, which a lot of the times you want to do with this deck, which is why I quite like it, is because you have well, we'll get there, you have 2 resilience cards. You have them out, then you go Zoltan into Monroe, it sets up a very, very strong short round, which the opponent has to respect. And then there's Brewer. Brewer is ridiculous if they don't answer it. For some reason, people don't realize it has Barricade at the end of your turn, boosts all dwarves armor on the row. It has Barricade, if you just take off the armor on it, the ability will stop activating. People don't do it sometimes because they assume you might have ways to add the armor back, but if you're in a scenario, you can just take the armor off of it if you can't just kill it outright. Still though, obviously people can put the armor back on with some cards. It's very strong. If you play this in a long round, you can beat most things if it's not answered. Heatwave, because it's Heatwave. We have Zoltan and Gabor are 2 resilience cards. Very good to set up, especially Gabor, because it's an engine in the next round. Zoltan, they basically can't kill without Heatwave because it's 5 armor. If they send 5 damage into it, then 4 more to kill it, it's gotten enough value that I'm fine losing the resilience. And obviously, if either of these are already injured in round 1 and they're trying to kill him, and you're going to gain an advantage from the resilience, like a card up round 2 or something, card up round 3, based on how it's set up, it's perfectly fine just to use the Tempering leader ability on them to protect them. Yarpins are best single card short round, right? Because he comes down for 10. He does 3, he's a 6, gets boosted by 1. Good target for adding armor to because he boosts himself. Xavier's a strong engine card. Comes down as a 7 with the 1 armor, so it can't be removed normally. Then it armors itself again. They'd have to Heatwave it to remove it, so it's basically a guaranteed engine, which is nice. Zoltan's Company, because we need a second way to spawn dwarves for our Monroe, I found, and because the effect of having Zoltan and then this to give 1 armor to everything is not negligible, especially if you follow it by Brewer, because you'll guarantee every dwarf in your row to have 1 armor, and Brewer boosts them all, which is quite nice. And then we have Polly. I like the move. It moves the Brockfar Hunter from Skellige, they always put in the range row, and it moves Selkirk, which came up a couple times for the duels they set up. Not that Selkirk's like meta or anything, but it has a lot of use. The other thing is, Nilfgaard especially will try and fill your rows, right, sometimes. So they say you're stacking in 1 row. They know you want to play Brewer. They might try and set something up where like they can fill your row up. If you poly, you can pull stuff out of your own rows too. Or for example, if you're going to a long round 1, you can set it if you're playing a lot of units because you want to play like Mahakam guards and everything, and then you end up filling your rows. You can probably pull one of them out and then fill your Broover in if you need it, which is always really good. Barclay comes out for an absurd amount of value sometimes. If you've got 8 Dwarves in this row, he's a 12 for 6, which is incredible. The nice thing is you can boost things that are damaged. You can deny a Bloodthirst. Denying Bloodthirst is really easy in this deck. Well, not really easy, but it's very doable because you have so much armor everywhere. Skellige has a lot of trouble setting up Bloodthirst because of the armor you add to everything and lose a lot of value, especially on stuff like Herald that just hits randomly. Dwarven Chariot, it spawns a Rowdy Dwarf, so nobody get a Rowdy Dwarf, obviously. They changed this a while ago. It gives order, give an allied unit 1 armor. I quite like this change. You use the 1 armor charges to set up Broover, and a lot of good stuff can happen from that. After the Dwarven Chariot with the 2 Dwarf Berserkers, they're one of our best ways to get value from the armor. They're not great against enemies that have heal, or, you know, things that have Berserk, but they're still pretty good. Play 1 Tempering, you can play 2. It has some good targets. I mean, you get 7 points from it on Yarpen, eventually get 7 points from it on Berserker. It's good to boost up your injured guys on, especially the Resilience cards. Play 2 Marauders. You can change this if you want, but the Marauders have a lot of value if you can get value from the armor, right? So one's a 6 for 4, one's an 8 for 4 if it has bonded. It's a decent opening card. If they have something like a Longship or something, or if they have something that's random damage, it gets an extra point from the armor, which is good. Pyrotechnicians 4 removal for 7, well 7 points with 4 removal for 4 points. Very good, especially if you get an extra armor. It's a good starter card. Miner's okay. Miner I found I didn't really want that much, but it's definitely a good setup card. Usually I found myself needing higher tempo cards than it in round 1, but it's not bad. And then Mahakam Guard is your finisher bronze, right? You get this up to worth like 11 points. Usually you just want to end with a couple of these and it's pretty good. So yeah, that's the deck. So our first game here will be up against Blaze of Glory Iced. This should be pretty difficult, but I think we can manage. We are going second, which is good. So Pyrotechnician's pretty good here. That's for sure. Miner's okay. I like the order. It'll be useful here. As far as the rest of this, I mean, Heat Waves, they'll do damage, but it's not amazing in this matchup. So we're just going to hit Yutta probably at some point. I think we'll get rid of Miner, because going second, I don't want to have to spend time setting too much stuff up. Zoltan's Company is going to be good here. If we can get our... We guys on Iron Man to out Broover and try and get a win on even off of this guy. And maybe force something else out, so let's keep this hand. So what we really want to do here is see what he does. He's going to boost something. The Pyrotechnician is pretty solid for the Hunter guy he's going to play. Or the Protector. We'll see which one. It's the Protector. That's what we are. I thought we were going to see which one, but he already played it. Now, he's a problem for our Dwarf Berserkers. And there's not much we can do about that other than... well, nothing really. Question is then, do we even play the Berserker? Because we're just going to have to let it hit stuff. If we don't play Berserker, we have this, we have this. So yeah, we'll just start Pyrotechnician. Uh-oh. Berserker's not great here. But if he doesn't boost this, which he's going to, right? He's going to Raiding Fleet us and get out the light Longship. We'll absorb damage on our armor, but we'll get the 4 bleeding. But if he uses Raiding Fleet on us, Pyrotechnician gets a lot of value from absorbing stuff on the armor, and then we can just trigger his order when his health gets low. Of course, he could just have the Demon Light Longship in his hand. A Longship, not sure why I said it that way. Yeah, he just has it in his hand. We have a chance to kill it, but he's probably going to boost it. He might not use the order. Well, he should, because he wants to make sure we don't just 50-50 down the Protector. He's going to boost the Protector. We can 50-50 down the Longship if he uses an order now. Is there a reason not to use Pyrotechnician's order? Yeah, because he gets an extra point. But then if we have our Berserker, we can hit the Longship. That's a 25% chance for those 2 events to occur, though. That's not great. So I think we'll be a little smarter here. Just go for the Marauder. As long as we are absorbing stuff on armor, I'm happy. Because he's not going to get synergy out of great swords or stuff. And he'll lose value every time he dings an armor. Eventually, what I want to do for this round, if we're going to push him, is I want Zoltan, preferably next turn, into Zoltan's company for the armor, and then we just go like Mahakam guard, like 9 points or something, 8 or 9. We don't have a second guard, or Barkley, that's how you say his name. Yeah, Barclay. Okay, he's setting up. He doesn't want to deal with the armor. Either way, it's going to be extremely difficult for him to deal with this. So I think we get the resilience out. And more armor. The more armor, the better, really. If he sends 9 damage into our Zoltan, I'm fine with that. It essentially makes Zoltan a 13, which is good enough for me. And if he tries to kill it and gets it low, we will use our leader ability on it, because having it set up for round 2 is really strong. Okay, so he's going to do this one because it has the least armor on it. Makes sense. Gutting Slash, sure. Go ahead. Now the question here is, how far do we want to go? Because we have company into either Brewer or Monroe. But I think, because we always have Zoltan Warrior for the Monroe, so either way I think we're going to play company here. Now there's a chance that this just hits the boat, which is definitely an ideal outcome. I don't think it's a better time to activate this, so we'll just hope it hits the boat. It didn't, but we absorbed 4 armor, so that's fine. He's not going to have any row damage or anything. Maybe a Hemdall, but he's not going to play that now. So I'm not too concerned about losing armor. Because now we're just going to go guard. I'm debating Brewer here. The thing with our rounds is that we can't beat the short round where he Blaze of Glories. Right, basically no matter what. Let's see what he goes for. Okay, so he's not worried about Brewer here. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just... killing off the Longship. The thing is this, that Yarkpin's one of our best short round cards. I don't want to just spend it here. But Berserker's bad. Guard's alright, so we'll play Guard. Alright, it's a 9 for 4. It's pretty good. He really only has one target for damage where you don't get armor value. Okay, he's going to take out one of our Dwarves probably. That's fine.
What are you gonna do, huh?
Yarpin gets much better here because he loses 2 value from the heal. I mean, he's going to have another one of these in his hand, isn't he? Brewer seals the round, but I think I need Brewer later. This is a 1-point engine every turn though. So I think if we go for Yarpin, it's fine. He's gonna play for 10, right? He gets 1, so really 9, but that's pretty good. Now, if he doesn't have the second Bear Witcher, which I'm sure he does, he'll be in a worse position. This is the point where we really wish that Yarpin kept his armor, because we gave him another target to put damage on, other than just our Pyrotechnician, which only had 1 health left. thing about committing Brewer here is I don't want to, right? Because even though it's really good and guarantees us the round, okay. That only does 6, right? He's gonna heal. And he's still up by 1. If he passes, we pass. I'll take the up a card. For sure. It's a good position we forced them into here. We're gonna be up a card now. He's gonna force round 2. We still have access to Brewer and Zoltan Warrior. We should be able to keep a round. Oh. And we have a Resilience hanging on for that round too. That's good. So really we want to draw into Brewer or Monroe so we can Oneiromancy the other, because he's probably... I mean, he's down, right? Down significantly, right? He's got 5 cards and we have 7, so it's unlikely he pushes here. But in case he does, because sometimes people do that to be surprising, we want to have them. That's not bad either. I think of this hand, it's pretty good. We have, obviously, Yarpen's amazing. Or not Yarpen, Gabor is amazing here. This is not so amazing, though. There we go. Because we just get Resilience again if he passes. And then we have an engine set up, and we go first. Yeah, so we just play Gabor with Resilience again. We have another Resilience engine to round 3. We're up a card, it's going to be a long round. We have our double Berserkers, we have our Brewer, access to him. We have armor. We might be able to beat the Ice Tier. We drew into Brewer actually. So of our deck, is anything good? I think this is our best hand. It's quite good. So we'll keep this. And we go first. I don't think they play Delirium. Yeah, I don't think he plays Delirium. Some decks play Delirium. It's quite annoying. I think he's gonna play Herald, right? So I want armor to block stuff. Brewer probably won't get much boost value, mostly just probably the first turn. So we'll just set this up. So we have 2 6-point engines going. He can only pick a Scorpion Decoction, one of them. I mean, he's a 7 really, but he has just the 1 armor. 2 engines going. Then we'll go into... I want to make sure he sets something up we can hit with Zoltan and the Dwarf Berserkers from Monroe. So I want this combo once he sets something up. And we do have Heat Wave for whatever. Probably Yutta. No, Oneiromancy will most likely end up being for this Mahakam Guard at some point. Okay, so he's gonna go open up with Yalmar. He's gonna take out one of our guys. Sure, that's fine. Now we know he has a guy. We'll spawn our 2 Rowdy Dwarves. If he takes one of these out, our Oneiromancy will be for the Dwarven Chariot instead, because we get value from the Order armor. And then we have 2 Rowdy Dwarves still. It probably should be the Chariot anyway, honestly. Then we want to do it early. The Chariot's going to give us what if we play it next turn? 6 armor activations? Whereas if we play Guard... Yeah, Chariot's better unless we lose 1. But we're going to play Chariot for sure now. He might actually kill the second. Right, because this might just be... This is probably for Raiding Party though. Raiding Fleet, rather. Oh, it's Dwarf Clan, so we lose both of our Rowdy Dwarves. That's annoying. Quite annoying. Alright, so here we have our move, which is valuable for sure. To move him. We need to get Brewer going pretty soon, but he's gonna die. So Brewer's going to die to Blaze of Glory when we play him. So we need to play him when he gives us a big 1-turn boost. But we can't wait too long or else he's gonna... We'll probably avoid digging our armor off. Unless he's counting on that. So this is okay. Yeah, Harold's gonna ding it off, so Broover has to come out fairly soon.
Up and at him, you lazy bastards! You'll sleep when you're dead.
Alright, that's not great, honestly.
Full service.
So this is the turn we do this, and we go for our chariot. And then we armor this dwarf, so we can't kill it. So I want at least one berserker out of Monroe. So let me go Monroe, Berserker, Broover, Barclay. Hopefully it's enough. Because when we play Broover's when he's going to play his leader. Okay, there's a lock. It's annoying. But at least we get one Berserker from Monroe now. So we'll turn this guy. Start firing. Next turn we go second Berserker. So we're going to lose a couple points on him. But his armor might absorb that damage, so we might still get full value. And then we go Broover. Fine. We have to be careful of the Witcher who puts a Siren in our row, because it could fill our row before we're ready. So we need 3 spaces if he's going to do that, because that could be a problem. Although I don't think he has it, he would have played it before the Adrenaline activated. So I think we're pretty safe just to do this. Fire a couple shots, hopefully don't hit the Fanatics. Finally got these things named right. Took like 6 videos, but they're Fanatics. I know that. Now, as we're going in here, Broover's going to come down. He's going to Blaze of Glorium, right? He's going to take the armor off of there. That's fine.
Oh, that dancing around. It's not for me.
Ice is such a big play, though. I don't think we can even up a card. It's still going to get us, isn't it? Well, we don't have a choice. This is the turn we Broover. Right. Drop Broover. It's also the best time for Forge. We'll put on a Berserker. We get a big boost from Broover here. It's like +6. Well, Berserker's firing. We're up a little bit, but here comes the Iced. Right. We at least can deny the Bloodthirst too. Hopefully we can block damage from Herald. We Heatwave Yoda, we have Barclay. I think we'll go Heatwave next because he has to kill our Broover. Or remove its armor. Is he gonna not? I mean, it has Barricade. Just take the Barricade off. Just take off the Barricade, man. Everyone I've played has not realized that they take the armor off of Broover. He doesn't keep boosting. But I mean, what are you gonna do? So Barclay, let's boost this guy to take away his option for the Bloodthirst 2 he was setting up. And yeah, he was just doing that to set up the Bloodthirst 2 for his Iced. But he draws a random card from the top of his deck, right? From what's left. I really think he should just take the armor off of Broover, because we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points from that. There goes Broover. He didn't even hit Broover. That was just the wrong play. Well, we take a win off the Iced. There we go. GG. This is why I like the Dwarf deck so much. It can do quite a bit. This is the deck I've used to end up in Pro Rank with for the rest of the climb. This is this Dwarf deck. We ended up back exactly at 2400. We went forward a little bit. GG. Alright, here we go. Up against Overwhelming Hunger. The first game was pretty long, but let's see. This has to be Vi, right? This has to be Vi. Our hand's really strong here. We have both our Resilience cards. They don't have a lot of removal typically. They just play big point slam with Vi. Our problem is we don't have removal either, right? We only play one Heat Wave. So we really want, and we're going first. This is bad. The position's bad for us going first, but our hand makes it probably doable. What I really would like is a Zoltan's Company here to accelerate everything. Perfect. I like this. This is good. Now, we really want to do a second... We want to win round 1, and then push round 2 hard. And just hope he has to use up all of his Vi's. For that effect, we'll just start here. We're going to play Zoltan as soon as we can, so our Zoltan's company gives us armor. I don't think we can afford to use Brewer this round. As much as it would just carry the round, I don't think we can afford to. Got a good game from that last game. Nice. Now, obviously that armor is bad for Dwarf Berserker. Really bad, but Yorpen taking one of these out, that's a good start for us taking this round.
Gunners are in for a world of hunt.
Yorpen, it always feels when you play Yorpen like it's a 3 damage and he's worth 7, right? So it's a fairly good amount of points, but it always feels to me like it's a 7 provision card or something. I don't know why. It's a pretty big commitment, 9 gold, but it never feels like it to me. Now this opponent here might not actually be playing Vi at this point. I feel like he is. I feel like he has to be, but I haven't seen the Harpy Egg played in a long time in any of these Vi decks recently. Obviously Berserker is not great, but I want to commit Zoltan right after I committed Yarpen, because he's just playing bronze cards still. So we'll go Berserker. If he's going to keep up with this non-committal approach, we'll play Zoltan next turn. Alright, he's setting up for a double consume here. Those are both going to be consumed. And that's what, a 5 plus a 4? That's 9, he goes to 18, plus probably the Andraga Warrior, whatever the 4-point guy is. So we end up at 22. We don't have fantastic choices, but a lot of value from our Zoltan is in the carryover, so we'll do this. Even if he doesn't get value now, that obviously is not going to do great for us. This Berserker, I mean. But as long as we set up the carryover, we can make him feel like he's pressured. I don't think he has a good answer to this. Barbagazi, so that's how he's going to go about this. Soon we'll find out if it's Vi or not. Either way, the question is, do we keep setting up? The thing with Zoltan's company is the armor is nice, and we get a big Barclay coming out. We have a second way to activate Monroe, so I think this is a good choice here. Especially while we still have the Zoltan on the field for the +1, with an extra point in Yarpen. And if he starts like going hard on Vi or something, we could win with Brewer most likely, because Brewer's going to give us like 8 points a turn, or 7 points a turn right now. This is where we find out if he's playing Vi or not. He's not. Okay. So we need Heat Wave for scenario then. Because I don't think he is. This will be interesting though. I haven't seen anyone go with this succubus type approach.
We're not done if you can.
One. We're up a little bit. I don't want to Brewer, obviously. But Gabor here. Best target for our this. Now we have 2 resiliences set up. He has to respect that. He needs to remove Gabor here, or else he's in a terrible position. He has to Heat Wave Gabor, essentially. Could be playing Emulous Wrath and damage it, but he basically has to deal with Gabor here. Because if he doesn't, we have an engine set up for round 2, and bleeding against a deck relying on a scenario is very strong. There's Goliath. See what that puts him at. 41. Now, we go for the big Barclay. We won't be able to play Brewer this round if we play Barclay, but I think Barclay's big enough that's fine. Just go for this.
Mahakam!
Boom. At this rate, even Yagrin doesn't give him enough points. It will for the order, right? Okay, so he has the beast. We need Heat Wave for later. We have Oneiromancy, which we got a second use of. Right now, his beast is going to be worth 4 more points. Succubus doesn't do anything yet. He only has 1 consume, so I'm not concerned about that coming back. Our biggest plays are all shut down now because we filled up Heroic. No Mahakam guards, none of that, no melees. Moving a unit from Poly could set up an optional Broover next round or next turn, and it gives us a way to add armor. So I think we're gonna go for that. We go for Poly, play him. We're going to move him because he can't get armor from Broover, and then we'll pass back or end our turn. Now, if he plays hard, we can play Vi to win. Or not Vi, Broover to win. Because it's just going to give us like 9 points a turn for 2 turns. It's ridiculous. This setup. Bog Rest, sure. The question is, do we want to do this? Without Broover, our win condition for this game now is a short round with Zoltan and Monroe, right, where we Heat Wave the scenario. We are currently up. Broover's a huge commitment, but the thing is, Broover is really not good in a short round, right? Can I get value from forcing him into scenario? I think we go for this. Then we just armor this, and he has to pass, because we still have 2 resilience cards left. He can't compete with this. This is not stoppable. Thank you. Now we have 2 resiliences left, so we push next round. We push and make him scenario. It could also be some kind of Plague Maiden thing, but I don't think it is. Alright, that's good. We've got our combo set up. We've got the Zoltan Warrior. Monroe, we have Oneiromancy. Okay, we don't need Oneiromancy. This is basically a perfect hand. Now we have 2 resiliences. We're obviously pushing here, and he's going to know that. So our best Oneiromancy target is Xavier. The question is, do we do it now or later? I think we just go for it first, because we got the engine set up. Now we have 2 engines set up. He has Parasite. Does Forge get a better target than either of these right now? I think we don't do it. I think we don't do it yet. Because he might Heat Wave it. People who play scenarios, in my experience at least, always tend to be the ones who play Heat Wave. Yeah, so Larva's less good here. Obviously makes our Berserkers pretty not great either, but that's fine. We've got our Rowdy Dwarves. Get our engines going. He has to... At this point, he has to commit his scenario when we have Heat Wave. Osriel's still a lot. Yagrin? I mean, man, this is going to come down to the RNG of the one row here. Okay, it's not going to, obviously, because he has hunger. Not sure why I thought that. So we'll transform these. Okay, I really should not have put all these in the melee row. Well, I mean, it's fine because the only thing, the reason is that you get punished really hard by Yrden, but these guys had to be in the melee row. So our Heat Wave here is going to be bad. It's like a, well, I mean, it's a 15. It's not awful, but we Heat Wave. We go Forge. If he has an Igni, and we boost our guy here, we'd have 2 9s, and that'd be bad. So instead, we're going to boost this guy. And let's see what he's got. I really thought he would be playing Scenario.
I'm just a sexy.
So then the Succubus comes back. Sure, you're down by 28 though. Kairin, you're gonna get her back. This is a pretty neat deck with the Succubus. I like it. Obviously, we just kind of abused him with the double resilience, but that's like the game plan of this deck. GG. Now, as far as changes I'd make, with a new patch comes out, the only thing I would change is Monroe's going to be better, right? So you have the 2 charges instead of transforming 2 on deploy, which is much stronger. So what you can do is, if you can set him up, he'll be a 7 points when he comes down. You can set him up. If they don't lock him, or they don't kill him, you can just play the 2 dwarves after and transform them, so they're much more protected. What I think I would like to do with him is play a dwarven chariot, right? Play him, transform 1 rowdy dwarf from the chariot, and do the second charge to spread out. They're not going to be able to stop both. Is the idea you get 1 for sure when you play him, and you can get the second one later. But I think that's a good change. As far as change to the actual deck, though, the only things that I would consider, I'd probably try out Enchanted Armor. Right, so Enchanted Armor when it's buffed. And then as far as the neutral cards go that we could add, so Enchanted Armor, yes, get a buff to Monroe, and then Armory, right? So boost by 6, give it 3 armor. Turn to the location with a boost by 6, then order 3 armor. I would put it in. I would probably take out Zoltan's. Well, I will put it in the deck most likely. I'll probably swap out Polly for it. It's up to you, right? It depends on how much value you order for 3 armor, because Polly has ordered 2 armor, but the location will have resistance, so be a location. So those are the only changes I'd make. I like the rest of the deck. Obviously, you can change a couple things. We're not actually playing Nature's Rebuke. We went all in on the engine type here, which worked out quite well. Nature's Rebuke's solid option as well, but you'd have to cut some things. So what you'd probably do if you want Nature's Rebuke is cut Polly, cut Zoltan's Company, cut the 2 miners, put in the 2 Nature's Rebukes, and then you could add in, maybe keep 1 miner, then add the Armory if you want to, right? So this swaps out evenly. You lose 2 points here, or 2 provisions. You lose a miner. You have 10 provisions left to work with, so you put in the 2 Nature's Rebukes. That's the option there. But this is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wouldn't change it too much, and I'm excited to see how it performs. I quite like it, especially with the double resilience options with Zoltan and Gabor. I like decks that can force round 2 because it can make the opponents, you can force the opponents to play suboptimally, and having 2 resilience options is a really strong way to go about that. So that's why I like the deck, because of the strong round 2 push potential, and I just really like cards with resilience because I think it opens up a lot of options to your actual play over just what's in your deck. But anyway, that's the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.